Welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Are you still there? Are you still there? Yes? Okay. Well, welcome back to one more half hour. I don't have much time, so el tiempo es un bien escaso. Time is a scarce resource. Recurso. It's a scarce resource. So we have 25 minutes to progress today in this section of the program. This is the last half hour of the program, and this section of the program will last 25 minutes. The last segment of the program lasts 25 minutes. He hecho las dos veces, uno con un adjetivo. El último segmento de este programa de 2 horas, de mi programa de 2 horas, el último segmento, the last segment, dura, lasts, la S de la tercera persona singular. The last segment of this program lasts 25 minutes. Yesterday, the last segment of this program lasted, pasado, 25 minutes. To last is durar. Y os cuesta horrores recordar esto y asimilarlo, quizá por la semejanza que tiene con la palabra último, the last. The Last of the Mohicans, for example. The movie. You remember the movie? The Last of the Mohicans? Yeah. It lasted 2 hours. It was a relatively long movie with Hawkeye, Ojo de Halcón, el protagonista, the main character, the Irish actor. He played the role of Hawkeye. Hawk is halcón or gavilán. Eye is ojo. Hawkeye is Ojo de Halcón. That was his name, his Indian name, but he wasn't an Indian, okay? Hawkeye. Well, he was half Indian, okay? And half white man. And the Last of the Mohicans lasted 2 hours. The last segment of this class yesterday lasted 25 minutes. And this segment is going to last 25 minutes. To last, el verbo durar. Y la gente lo confunde a veces con tardar. ¿Cuánto tardas? Pues to read the novel, because The Last of the Mohicans is based on a novel by James Fenimore Cooper, written in the early 19th century. It's considered the first great American novel, and it was written about 200 years ago, slightly less than 200 years ago, and it's a very good novel, and it takes about a month to read the novel. Well, if you spend all day reading, it takes 2 days or 3 days to read the novel, okay? But the movie lasts only 2 hours. So a novel in which it takes you a month to read it lasts only 2 hours through Hollywood productions, okay? The Last of the Mohicans, okay, it takes. And to learn English, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. It took me 5 years to learn English well, from age 0 to age 5. Really, it takes a long time. It took you a long time to learn Spanish. You don't remember. And the learning process was natural, because when you're born, the mother starts talking to you, even when you're less than 1 day old. Cuchi, cuchi, all right? Hello, what's your name? Hi, okay? And they take you home from the clinic or the hospital, and immediately the sounds, in your case of Spanish and in my case of English, the sounds are coming at me every day, practically every waking hour. They're speaking to me, or the noise of the English language, in my case, is around me in the room. 10 hours, between 5 and 10 hours, every single day. And as I grow to 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year and a half, I stay awake more hours, and so there's more exposure. During the first 5 years of a person's life, they receive probably 10 hours a day of contact with the language. Indirect contact, usually, the noise of the language, but it opens the ear, okay? It opens the ear. And so it takes 5 years to learn a language well. When you were 5 years old, you spoke Spanish perfectly, except your vocabulary was not broad, but your verbs were perfect, except maybe rompido, okay? You said instead of roto. But otherwise, your Spanish was perfect. And when I was 5 years old, my English was perfect. Then when I started school is when I seriously began to study the language, to learn how to read it, to learn how to write it, and to expand vocabulary, to learn how to use the language more effectively. But when I was 5 years old, I could speak English 10 times better than you can. And when you were 5 years old, you could speak Spanish, the agilidad, dexterity and agility with the Spanish language, you could speak better than I can now. Okay, so it's true that it takes the first 5 years of your life, it takes a long time. Now for me, for Spanish, it took me a long time to learn Spanish. It took me a long time. I studied it at the university. Los británicos dirían at uni, que significa at the university, all right? Y los americanos decimos at college, or in college. Colegio escrito, pero es la universidad. When I was at college, I studied Spanish. Starting in my third year, I seriously began Spanish, and I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours devoted to your language, reading everything imaginable, from the Arce Prestedita to Garcia Marquez, okay? From the beginnings of the Spanish language as the literature to the current South American literature and Spanish literature, including poetry and prose and theater. I read Don Juan Tenorio de Zorrilla. I read Don Juan of other writers in Spain. Okay, Tirso de Molina's Don Juan. But it took me a long time. It took me. Tardé muchísimo tiempo en aprender castellano. Muchísimo. Así que la gente que os dice que con 8 meses uno puede aprender inglés, miente. It's not true. It took me a long time, and I'm not dumb, I think, all right? It took me a long time. It took me a long time to learn your language. It took me a long time and effort to learn. It takes. Ello lleva, literalmente, o ello toma. Me toma mucho tiempo, me lleva mucho tiempo hacer cosas. En español tenéis el verbo tardar, en inglés no tenemos el verbo tardar. Okay? Tardé 3 años en aprender español bien. Ello me llevó 3 años, ¿se dice? Me llevó 3 años aprender bien español. It took me 3 years to learn Spanish well. It took me 5 years to learn English when I was a little boy. It took me, I don't know, it took me about half a year to write this book. This book is mine. I wrote it, okay, from start to finish, from beginning to end, from start to finish, from beginning to end. I wrote this book, but it didn't take me very long. It took me only about 6 months to write this book together with the students' manual and together with the pictures that go with this method. This is 300 pages, and I wrote it in I wrote this book in probably 4 months. Very fast, because I wrote it after 20 years of experience teaching. So it was natural. It was very easy. After 20 years of accumulation of teaching experience, I wrote it, but it took me 4 months. Now, to be able to write this book took me 20 years of experience, accumulating many, many thousands of hours of class. Personally, I have taught 35,000 hours. Okay, when I wrote this book, when I designed and materialized this method, I already had taught perhaps 20 or 25,000 hours of class. So it wasn't difficult for me, and it didn't take me very long. But to gain the experience to do it took me a long time. I remember a story. I don't know if it's true, but it could be true. It's a story about Pablo Picasso. Many years ago, when Picasso was perhaps about 55 or 60 years old, Picasso was in a restaurant having lunch or dinner with some friends. And when he finished his meal, he and his friends got up and proceeded to walk out of the restaurant between the tables to leave the restaurant. And of course, people noticed, that's Pablo Picasso, it's Picasso. This is in France. And there was a an American woman sitting at one of the tables. Typical American woman, she stopped him. "Oh, Mr. Picasso." He said, "Yes." Picasso was very courteous with the woman. "Mr. Picasso, my daughter adores you. You are the subject of my daughter's studies at the university. She's preparing a thesis on you, on your work, Mr. Picasso." "Oh, thank you very much. Please give my regards to your daughter." And said, "But Mr. Picasso, one thing. On this napkin," she pulled out the servilleta. Said, "Excuse me, Mr. Picasso, but could you draw something for my daughter on this napkin?" Okay. And Picasso said, "No problem. Are you sure?" "Yes, Mr. Picasso, could you draw something for my daughter?" He said, "Do you want me to draw something?" He said, "Yes, please, Mr. Picasso. My daughter would love it." And Mr. Picasso said, Pablo Picasso said, "No problem." And he took the pen, and on the napkin, the servilleta es otra forma, pero decimos normalmente napkin para servilleta, he drew. It took him 15 minutes. It took him 15 minutes. No, perdona, it took him 15 seconds, okay, seconds, to draw an interesting design of a bull, un toro. And the lady said, "Oh, Mr. Picasso, it's beautiful. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. My daughter's going to love it." And Pablo Picasso said to the woman, "Madam, that will be 15,000 francs, please." 15,000 francos, 15,000 francs. Said, "Yes." "But, Mr. Picasso, it only took you 15 seconds. It only took you 15 seconds to draw this picture." And Picasso said, "Yes, that's true. It only took me 15 seconds to draw that picture, that beautiful picture. But it took me 15 years of hard work to learn how to draw that picture in 15 seconds." Okay? So remember, when people do things sin esfuerzo, so effortlessly, many times it's because they have spent a lot of time learning and perfecting their skills. And it takes a long time to become a master at anything. It takes a long time. It takes, tercera persona singular, tiempo presente. It takes a long time to become a master at anything. A lot of work and a lot of effort. And in the case of Mr. Picasso too. In the case of certain mechanics for the engine of your car, in 10 seconds or in 10 minutes, they solve a problem and charge you 100 euros. You say, 100 euros? Well, it took the mechanic many years to know how to solve that problem, okay? And to learn English also. If you want to become a master, o sea, dominar, llegar a dominar. If you want to master, aquí lo uso como un verbo. Si quieres llegar a dominar el inglés, if you want to master the English language, you have to work hard, and it's going to take you a long time. It's going to take you a long time. So, to take. How long does it take? How long does it take to do a TV show here? Well, it takes 2 hours. Yes. This entire program takes me 2 hours. Lo puedes usar de forma impersonal o de forma personal. Por ejemplo, se tarda 6 horas en ir en coche de Madrid a Barcelona. It takes, a mí y a la mayoría, entonces no personalizo. It takes 6 hours to drive from Madrid to Barcelona. It takes 3.5 or 4 hours to drive from Madrid to Valencia. It takes 1 hour to drive from Madrid to Segovia. It takes 7 hours to fly from Madrid to New York. It takes 6.5 hours to fly back. It's different because of the wind, the trade winds, okay? It takes 5.5 or 6 hours to fly from New York to Los Angeles. It takes 6 hours to fly from Miami to Seattle, Washington on the Pacific coast. It takes 12 hours to fly from Madrid to Los Angeles. It takes 10.5 hours to fly from Madrid to Dallas. It takes 55 minutes to fly from Madrid to Barcelona. It takes 50 minutes to fly from Madrid to Vigo. It takes 6 hours or 5 hours to drive from Madrid to Vigo. It takes. It takes a long time to learn a language. It takes a long time to learn a trade well, un oficio. It takes a long time, yes. It takes a long time to learn to teach English on television. It takes a long time to learn to teach English on the radio, yes. It takes a long time to write an English method. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. Y en la pregunta, how long does it take? Pero también, antes de entrar en el interrogativo, también puedo personalizar. It takes me. It takes me. Me toma a mí. Me lleva a mí. Me lleva. Okay? It takes me 5 minutes to shave in the morning. It takes me 2 minutes to brush my teeth. It takes me about 5 minutes to take a shower or to have a shower. It takes me about 5 minutes or between 5 and 10 minutes to get dressed, depending on whether I'm wearing a suit or if I'm dressing informally. If I dress informally, it takes me about 5 minutes. If I dress more formally, it takes me about 7, 8 minutes perhaps. And it takes me, about 4 minutes. I have it timed. Timed means cronometrado. It takes me 4 minutes to go from my house to my car. My building, I live in a converted convent. It's not a convent today, but it used to be. It used to be a convent. And there's no parking garage under my building. So I need to find parking in another garage near my house. And it takes me 4 minutes that's not true. It takes me 5 minutes to reach my car. It takes me 5 minutes to walk to my car. It takes me 4 minutes to walk home in the evening. It takes me less because in the morning, I leave home at 7 o'clock. Incluso antes. I leave at 5 minutes to 7. And I get to the parking garage at 7 o'clock sharp. Okay, on the dot, sharp. It takes me 5 minutes. Now, in the evening when I come back, it takes me 4 minutes because it's downhill. Uphill, downhill. Cuesta arriba, cuesta abajo. So it takes me longer, or it takes me more. It takes me more time to walk to my car in the morning than to walk home in the evening, okay? Because it's uphill in the morning and it's downhill in the evening, okay? Menos mal. ¿Cómo se dice menos mal? Curiosa expresión. It is a good thing. Sencillísimo. Es una buena cosa, pero se dice con ese alivio de menos mal. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because in the evening I'm tired. In the morning I'm energetic. I have slept all night and to walk uphill to my car in the morning is no problem. And in the evening when I'm tired, me dejo ir cayendo cuesta abajo. And I walk down, boom, boom, boom. I walk down and it takes me only 4 minutes. Now, in the mornings, I make a coffee. It takes me 5 minutes to make a coffee. And it takes me 20 minutes to drink the coffee. 20 minutes. Ahora, vamos a las preguntas. Why does it take you so long, tanto tiempo, tan largo, decimos literalmente en inglés. Why does it take you so long, Richard, to drink a coffee in the morning? Because in the morning, I prefer to be slow and parsimonious. Yes, slow. Okay, I get up at 20 minutes to 6, and I leave home practically at 7 o'clock. It takes me an hour and 20 minutes, or an hour and 15 minutes, to totally get ready to leave home. Now, I make a coffee, slowly, waking up. I take the coffee and I sit down and I watch television. I watch TV. I watch satellite TV. I watch news programs in Spanish and in English. And I'm simply drinking a coffee, but the coffee cup is bigger than this. It's this big, it's big, and it's thermal. Taza thermo. It has a double plastic layer, and it keeps the coffee hot for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And slowly, I watch TV and I drink my coffee like this. Slowly waking up, taking it easy, thinking. Sometimes I'm watching TV and sometimes I'm looking at the images but not paying attention. Recordad, la atención en inglés se paga, no se presta. To pay attention, and I'm not paying attention. I'm thinking about things. I'm waking up slowly. And then at 5 minutes to 7 or 7 o'clock, I leave home, boom, pisando fuerte, with energy, because I've been slow. When I was a teenager, I was a runner, sprinter. I was in track and field, or athletics. Los británicos dicen athletics para atletismo. Los americanos decimos track, que es pista, and field, literalmente pista y campo. Pruebas de pista, pruebas de campo. And I was a sprinter. I ran the 100, 200, and 400 meters, okay? And, yes, and I was good when I was a teenager, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. And I remember myself and many other good sprinters, we spent a lot of time slowly, parsimoniously preparing for our race. 45 minutes before the beginning of the prueba, of the race, of the event, I would slowly begin to walk, to jog, to trot very slowly, practicing very slowly, and then in los 100 metros, bam, in 10 seconds or 10.5 seconds, very fast. And that's how I prefer it in life. I work very fast during the day, high energy, but in the morning, before I leave home, slow, easygoing, parsimonious, slow coffee. And it takes me a long time to get ready for work. But then I work. Okay, it takes me. How long does it take you? How long did it take you? How long will it take you? ¿Cuánto tardarás en aprender inglés? Dime. How long will it take you to learn English? How long does it take to learn English for a normal person? How long does it take a normal person to learn English? How long did it take you to reach your current level? O bien, presente perfecto. How long has it taken you to reach your current level? Yes. And how long will it take you in the future to reach a high level of English? Okay. We have 2 minutes left. Nos quedan 2 minutos. We have 2 minutes left in this program. It's impossible for me to explain or to help you to become accustomed to how long does it take, how long did it take, how long will it take, how long would it take, cuánto tardarías. And so I'll come back another day, I'll come back another class to continue talking about how long does it take and how long does it last. El verbo durar. The Second World War lasted 6 years. The First World War lasted 4 years. The Spanish Civil War lasted 3 years. The American Civil War lasted 4.5 years. The Napoleonic Wars lasted 16 years, if we include Egypt and Italy. Yes. How long do things last? The 30 Years' War lasted 30 years. The 100 Years' War lasted 100 years, I suppose, okay? The years that Jesus of Nazareth was preaching lasted only 3 years, okay? Now we have only 1 minute left. So what can we do in 1 minute? How long does it take to learn a language? It takes forever. You'll never reach the end of the tunnel, but you can gain a good ability with a language. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. How long does it take me to prepare for this program? Well, Olga or Rita puts on my makeup, or Irene puts on my makeup, and it takes Irene perhaps 5 minutes. For females, when the women come here, it takes her 20 minutes. But for me, it takes Rita or Irene only 5 minutes to put on the makeup for this program. Okay, and how long does it take me to say goodbye? ¿Cuánto tardo en despedirme ya de mi público? How long does it take me to say goodbye? It depends. If I'm having a good time, si me lo estoy pasando bien, como ahora, if I'm having a good time, it takes me a long time. Okay, but I have to say goodbye. So, study, devote some time, devote some time to the English language, and come back for my next class. Tenemos una cita para mañana o pasado mañana, pero pronto, una cita. We have an appointment, you and me. We have a date. Eso sería más sentimental, a date. But study hard and see you very soon. Bye-bye.